Blast me to the mortal realms! It's time for the Mad Merlins review of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer, issue 34 by Hachette Partworks and Games Workshop. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer video review. So today we're going to be taking a look at issue 34, and we have a paint issue. So we get two new paints. It's Incubi Darkness and Nuln Oil. So we'll see how to use these in our paint guide in the issue. And as you can see by Skeletor there, Nagash, we are starting to learn about the Grand Alliance of Death. So yeah, Mr. Nagash there on his throne with his giant sword and book, trying to get as many souls as he can for his armies. But before we dive into the issue, don't forget to, of course, like this video if you are enjoying the content. And if you are, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, as it's the only way you can keep up to date with all my mad content. Also, you can keep in contact with me by dropping a comment down below. I do get back to all of you, and it's nice that we have a little bit of a hobby discussion now and then. So yeah, drop me a comment down below, let me know how you're getting on with your painting, and do you have any painting top tips? I have quite a few, as of course I have quite a bit of experience when it comes to painting. So yeah, there will be painting videos coming soon, if not already, to the channel. So yeah, I'll be giving out a few of my own personal top tips for painting on certain models. And finally, don't forget you can check all the links for the channel in the description down below, including social medias and my Patreon page. So, without further ado, let's take a look at issue 34 and learn how to paint with our new paints. So, here we go. So, here's our paints. Incubi Darkness, beautiful dark sea green, used for quite a lot of different colour schemes. I believe we are using this on some of the Gryph-hounds, as well as our premium kits 1 and 2, which there will be a video for premium kit 2 if it hasn't already gone up, but there will be one hopefully soon after this video, as I have premium kit 2. I'm going to take a look at it before I send it off to my partner in crime. And then we have, of course, Nuln Oil. So a beautiful black shade. I believe this is a newly reformatted version, so it's not as strong on the flats as it used to be, but it does give a nice deep shading to the recesses, which is where you want it. So yeah, two great paints, and we'll find out how to use them in issue 34. So let's take a look. So we have one article, that is the Grand Alliance of Death. We also have a collect article for our Gloomspite Gits, where we get to have a list of names and charts. We learn to paint with Incubi Darkness and Nuln Oil. We have 2 pages for the core rules. We have tutorial on monstrous rampages, and we have our pitched battle Power Unleashed. So here we have the Grand Alliance of Death. The dead do not rest in the mortal realms. Instead, they are drafted into the war of the cosmos in servitude to Nagash, who is the great necromancer and god of death. The Grand Alliance of Death is the enemy of all that lives. If they win, they will make reality into a cold and silent place of eternal servitude. So we see here Nagash, he's Mortarch bodyguards, and he's vanquishing one of his most hated foes, the Skaven, who have caused him more trouble than Sigmar ever has. Sigmar has actually been quite nice to Nagash. He even had an alliance at time. Yeah, Nagash annihilates a Skaven Grey Seer with a horrifying ease. Yeah, as it mentions, death is not the end that most people want, as you are often drafted into the legions of Nagash. So we have, of course, Nagash, head of the Order of Death. We have the Ossiarch Bone Reapers, who fashion bone into armor and weapons, and giant creatures that harvest bone and souls. We have the spectral hosts of the Night Haunts. We see here a Khan Wraith, not Khan Wraith, a Dreadscythe Harridan, and a Myrmorn Banshee there. So these are rather spectral, spooky ghosts. I have a small army that I'm trying to sell, but no one's interested in it, sadly. And we have, of course, the cannibalistic princes, knights, and courtiers of the Flesh Eater Courts, my favourite of the death factions. Moving on, we have a name chart for our Gloomspite Gits. So yeah, we use this by, as always, rolling a dice. We roll the first dice to pick a row, and then we roll the second dice to pick a column, and that is how we get our names. So we've got hero titles and unit names as well. And now we are using our new paints. So starting off then, we want to use Abaddon Black, so paint the undergarments of the Hobgrot Slitters with Abaddon Black. Next we're using Incubi Darkness, so we want to paint the cowling of the Swampcaller Shaman here with Incubi Darkness. Picking out the grips and some of the pouches on the belts of the Hobgrots with Incubi Darkness, and the same on our various Uruk models as well that have pouches on them. We're also using Incubi Darkness to pick out the area around the talons of the Gryph-charger for our knight on Gryph-charger, and even painting the heads of the Gryph-hounds there. We're then using Corax White to pick out the detail on the banner here. So it looks quite nice. And then we have a little bit about corrections before we move on. So tidy up any areas that you feel aren't the neatest. So if you've spilt any Incubi Darkness here, we want to tidy up Lead Belcher on the metal and Wraithbone on the skull there. If you've got any Corax White on the shield, touch up with a bit of Carntor Blue. Make sure you pick out any leather straps with Catch and Flesh, making sure the squigs are painted with corn red. Any bits of grip or cord, I'll pick that back and I'll burgundy. And we have a nice solid coat of Corax White on the Gryph-hounds. As next, we move on to Nuln Oil, and we're going to be using it pretty much in a lot of different ways. So we want to shade the leather straps with Nuln Oil, as well as the areas you just picked out with Corax White, the whole of the banner, as well as the shoulder pads. We want to pick out straps and, of course, the chainmail around the Vindictors there, the tips of the spears and halberds of all our Stormcast models, as well as the cloaks for, again, all of our Stormcast models, and any other brown areas as well. Finally, we're using Nuln Oil to shade the outer cloaks of Zandire's Truth Seekers, as well as her hair. And we're giving the white Gryph-hound a shade of Nuln Oil to give him a little bit of a coloration. And finally, we're painting shade over the blue and Baraknar burgundy areas of Garda Steel Soul there. Once you're done, check the gallery for all of your models, and you'll see that we are now getting near a completed collection of models. And you see here they've also picked out the beaks on those Gryph-hounds with a little bit of Avaland Sunset there. Now, how to apply Nuln Oil to our destruction forces. So all the Katash and flesh areas, so the leather, the wood, we even picking out the metal with Nuln Oil. So any little pouches, daggers, cloaks, again, picked out Nuln oil. We got all different colours here, so Barrett Burgundy, pretty much anywhere we want to pick out with Nuln oil. And again, all the metalwork with Nuln oil. You're going to shade some of the mushrooms on the loom boss with Nuln oil, so the one we picked out about our burgundy there. And we're going to give the skin of the squigs a shade all over. And there we have a nearly completed guide to all our models. So you can see all the metal work has been shaded with Nuln oil. Same on Manok the Cunning and his crew. All our squigs, mushrooms, metal and stuff on our grots. Everything has been shaded and our models are now looking a lot more alive. So we have still got a few shades left to get. I believe we've got Aphonian Camo Shade and Coelia Green Shade still to come. Actually, I don't think we've had Coelia Green Shade because we painted a Griffhound with it. But I believe we are still awaiting Aphonian Camo Shade, which will be used to paint the shade the skin of the grots. And we also still, I think, need Reikland Flesh Shade, so we can start shading the flesh on our Stormcast. Moving on then, we have rules all about monsters. So yeah, this will cover the rules for our gigantic Strogoth there. So monsters have the Monsters Rampage rule. They have different types that they can choose to make an attack with each time they fight with a Rampage. We now also look at War Scrolls, breaking down what a War Scroll is and all the different components. So yeah. Going over a lot that's already been covered in the earlier issues, but in a little bit more detail. So any abilities, damage tables, keywords, command models, upgrades and weapons, etc. Faction-specific terrain war scrolls, so we see the Realm Shaper engine for the Seraphon there. And of course, endless spells and invocations, so we have the Haitian Twister Stones there. Or Twin Stones even, I can't read very well. And then we have a tutorial on monstrous rampages. So we see the Spirit of Durfu go off against the Swamp Boss Scumdrek there. Other monsters in the collection are the Man-Crusher Gargant and our Storm Drake Guard that we get. So yeah, tutorials for Roar, Stomp and Titanic Duel there. Finally then, we have Power Unleashed, our latest battle. So the Lord Imperatant, Knight Arcanum, Guard of Steel Soul, Xandar's Truth Seekers, 5 Vigilors and Stormstrike Chariot face off against the Loom Boss, Swampcrawler Shaman with Popgrot, Killer Boss of Stabgrot, 20 Shooters, 3 Manskewer Bolt Boys and 2 units of 10 Hopgrot Slitters. There we have our map. So we got a H no man's land and we got 2 deployment zones in the centre there. So yeah, 3 objectives set across the middle line there, scoring points for each of the objectives. And we have Surging Power, so when a unit is contesting an objective, you may cast Arcane Bolt with that unit in the hero phase, even if it is not a wizard. And even if Arcane Bolt has already been cast. So pretty cool. Moving on to the future then, we have the Arch Revenant. So yeah, we start to learn about the Sylvaneth, probably one of my most looked forward to factions in this collection. I've had my eye on this model for a long time, and when I found out it was in this collection, I put off picking up the Regiment of Renown that he comes in. As I was going to pick that up because it came with him and some of the new Spite jump troops. Yeah, pretty cool. Excuse me. So yeah, learning about the Sylvaneth and also more core rules. Issue 36 brings us a Fungoid Cave Shaman. I believe this is the one that came with the Malign Portents series of models and books. Yeah, pretty cool little guy. Get to add to our Moon Clan. We also learn about the Skaven city of Blight City, where Pestilence is in absolute domination. And we have a couple of tactics for our destruction units. So there we have it. Not a lot to go through and a rather short video compared to the others. But we had a fantastic little paint guide there using our 2 new paints, which is great. So that's pretty much it for this issue. As a special bonus, I will show you this. So, subscribers, if you are subscribed to the collection, you would have received this letter telling us of our brand new encounter pack featuring the Skaven Warlock Bombardier. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm looking forward to this one. He's one of my favourite models. This will be my 4th now. I've got 1 more in my box of unbuilt stuff. 1 built up and put on a square base for fantasy, and 1 built up for my old colour scheme, which I'm thinking once we get the issue and it shows us what colours they're going to paint him, I might be doing a lot more of my stuff to match him with this guy. But yeah, Warlock Bombardiers are engineers and wizards. They are often carry doom rockets, dreaded missile weapons that can bring great destruction both to themselves and their enemies. So yeah, this issue comes with the kit, giving you the components to assemble in. It also has build and paint guides, as well as background, rules for the rules and a data sheet, as well as a brand new mission to play against him. So yeah, brand new character pack is exclusive to subscribers for only $9.99. So he is £22, I think, brand new, so less than half price. So yeah, pretty cool. It's a limited edition pack in the fact that model's not so limited edition, it's the actual pack itself, so the magazine you get is going to be the limited part, as well as that special price. So yeah, if you are a subscriber, you automatically receive this in your next delivery. If you don't want it, you have until your next delivery pretty much to contact the Hachette customer service and cancel your order for it. Me, I am really looking forward to this guy, so I can't wait. But there we have it. That's it for this issue. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to, of course, drop a comment down below of your favourite paint tips, or perhaps even one you've picked up from this magazine that you're going to be using over quite a few of your other armies. I know I've been picking up loads, especially from Imperium, that I'm going to be using on a lot of my other armies, as well as loads I've picked up recently from other YouTubers. So yeah. Don't forget, of course, as well, check all the links in the video description box down below. And until next time, thank you all for watching, and I will see you then. Goodbye.